Hello and good evening again, twice in one day for a Friday the 20th of October. It's my nephew's birthday and I haven't sent a card. How bad is Auntie Scary Trisha? So, yes, it's still a miserable evening. It's quite chilly in here and I've got a bit of a messy background, but hopefully some of you will come and have a chat with me shortly after seeing me this morning in the Patchwork for Absolute Beginners group. For those of you that were there, hello Barbara, lovely to see you. Can you see what's behind me, Barbara? Because I have a feeling that you may have requested this. I might give you a sneaky peek of the brand new mini quilt. It's not quite finished, for the Sew with Trisha group. Hello Gita, hello Vanessa, again as you say, hello Liz, yes we've got there now, and hello Amanda. Thank you for your lovely comments about the Patchwork group this morning. Hello Linda, Amanda, I read yours, and Nikki, I don't know if there's any more, but thank you for your comments. Hello Janet, oh tell me about it. Hello Heather, hello Christine. The weeks just whiz by. I don't know where, we'll be Christmas soon. Hello Lorraine, hello Fiona. It's got a constructive, it's a construction site, I think. Hello Lindsay. Aha. Do hope everyone's safe with this awful weather. Absolutely, Fiona, it is terrible. Hello Beverly, thank you for your lovely email too. Hello Sue, hello Alison. I mean, we've got it easy. Hello Sarah down here. It's been raining on and off. Hello Heather, but we don't have floods, thank goodness. So all of those in Scotland. Hello Linda, hello Jane. It's not good in Suffolk either. Wet Lancashire as well. Yeah, northwards and east of the country is really bad, I think. Hello Pollyann, fancy seeing you again. I know, nothing like a bad penny keeps coming back, is there? You're sitting quietly sewing by hand the binding of a wall height chart for granddaughter. Fabulous. That sounds great. And yes, my log burner is glowing. I must admit, you probably know from this morning, usually my grandsons go to school, but both were poorly overnight, so poorly grandchildren. And when I had my day planned, however, it all went wonderfully and they were good as gold, and they weren't very poorly afterwards, but they had been. So fortunately, I hope they turned the corner, because they went to Turkey for a week, last week, not this week, just on the week before. And one of them, whether it's been daddy or mummy or the boys, have been poorly every single day. So my lovely daughter is hoping that they've turned a corner now and they'll have a nice, good night's sleep tonight and nobody poorly in the morning. So thank goodness for grammar, I say. You know, it allows those that need to work to go to work. But grandma cracks on somehow. Fortunately, I got myself a little bit ahead, you know, not quite as far behind as I would have been. So everything is on track. So hello Elaine, hello Caroline. Oh, Sue said it's very wet and windy in North Yorkshire. Goodness, nasty, isn't it? Hello Karen, hello Eileen. Oh, you got flooding all? Oh dear, dear. It's been raining with Gita since yesterday. Yes, you're up that way, aren't you? Yes. Hi Lynn, you're just catching up on Patchwork. Fabulous, fabulous. Once you've caught up, you'll just be able to zip ahead and you'll be able to do anything. Now, I haven't quite decided yet where we go from that free group we had for absolute beginners, or those that wanted to refresh, pick a few tips up along the way, but it's not the end, believe you me. I just got to sort of finalise some of the finer details in my mind and where we go from here, but oh, never mind. Hello Christine. It's in the group for you to watch whenever you like and as many times as you like, because I shan't close the group down. We probably won't have any more members joining the group, but on the other hand, who knows, who knows. And as I did mention, for those of you watching tonight, if any of you are not in the Sew with Trisha group, now I will say immediately, because I get many requests each day to join the group, it is a paid group. It is £5 per month to belong to the group. However, There are so many benefits for your £5. Everybody here that's in the group will openly admit that it is fantastic value for money. So what I've thought though, or what I've said to those in the group, the free patchwork group, if they wanted to give it a little trial, they can request to join for the rest of the month and have a look to see how it runs. And then, should they wish to sign up to just pay their £5 by the 1st of November, and then monthly they're on, or £55 for an annual membership, absolutely fine. Otherwise, you can see how we work, what it's like, and then decide whether you want to join or not. So, any of you listening tonight, if you wanted to request to join, by all means do. So, let's have a look, see who else is here. Hello, Jill and John. Evening, lovely ladies, she says. Hello, Mary. Oh, great to catch you live and not on catch-up. Mary, I was only thinking about you the other day. There must have been something on Facebook where there was a picture of you, and I thought, oh, I haven't seen Mary for a while. So, lovely to have you here tonight, Mary. It's amazing the number of names I know. I'm not spying on you, but I sometimes just notice when somebody hasn't been around for a little while, so it's lovely to have you here. Good evening, Jill and Anne and Tony. I mean, it's great to have all of you here that come every time watching the live, but it just depends on circumstances as to whether you can catch me live. Oh, there's Karen too. Hello, Karen. You've had your two nephews, they had teacher training day. Ah, I've seen some children off today. My grandsons don't go back till the Tuesday after next, so there's always a teacher training day, isn't there? Never mind. It's lovely to have them anyway. So, hello, Marion. Oh, never mind. Doesn't matter. I don't think 10:30 is a good time because we have far fewer people joining me then. But it was just a case of when do I fit it in. If I did it early afternoon, I'd then be rushing to pick the children up from school, and it would be rush, 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 and nothing worse than being under a time pressure. So that was why I did it then, but knowing that you'd be able to watch it at any time. But I know you always like to be live when you can. So when I do the next step, I'll probably change the time a little bit, so hopefully more of you can watch live. Whoops. There we are. Hello, Dorothy, and hello, Anna. Lovely to see you tonight. Is that a new name, or have I not noticed your name for a little while? Welcome anyway. Lovely to have you here. There's Leslie. Hello. Gosh, Tony, don't say that. It's been sunny in Kent today. We will all be totally envious. It has been miserable, raining on and off, and cool today. But I haven't had to go out, so I did a bit of sewing first thing, and then, as I say, I've had the grandchildren. So, hello, Yvonne. Hello, Janet, my lovely. Hello, Jane. You're looking forward to the shorthand jotter printed notepad. Now, where have I put them now? Oh, unbelievable. Oh, here they are, underneath my pad. Everything that I can't find is underneath something. I'll show you these just now. I know we're going to make a different coloured one tonight. So I've got one here with a little pocket on, to put your pens in, and then one here which is just plain and simple, all one colour, and you can do as you please. You can decorate as you please. I have got a pocket slightly different to show you tonight, but I've sort of made it in advance, but you can do whatever you like with it. So this one is, as you see, the shorthand notepad. And obviously refillable, because there is the pocket piece for putting your replacement pad in. So that's what we're going to be doing. But we'll just have a little chat a bit further. It might be you, Jane, that suggested it. I think you were, but I don't know. So hello, Jane. Everyone's Christmas. Yeah, absolutely. And as I put in the post when I showed you them, you can buy shorthand pads relatively cheaply. And then the fabric in your stash. Basically, what did I use? I used widths of fabric, but you could piece it, you could do patchwork, and just make one long strip. So great for non-directional fabrics. If you are going to use a directional fabric, you will need to cut the outer piece in half, and then rejoin it so that they the directional fabric is the right way up on both sides. Hello Elaine, awful. Catherine, hello, just say, oh fabulous. Catherine, I started to answer one of your questions this morning, and I don't know, at some point this afternoon, I read a post on Facebook asking about how often should you change your sewing machine needles, and I thought, do you know what, I started to answer and I said, now changing your sewing machine is not just when you break your needle. Changing your sewing machine needles is not just when you break them. And for some reason I got sidetracked and I didn't answer the full question. So I read through this post and all the comments on there, and so many people said, oh no, I only change mine when it breaks. Some people said when it sounds clunky. Yes, that is a point in time. When it sounds clunky, yes, you do need to change it. However, you don't know. One, I see lots of moans about my stitching's not very good. It should be better than this. And I wonder if those people have changed their sewing machine needle regularly or very, at that point in time. So I just sometimes think, rather than moaning about this is not working, that's not working, just have a look at the ground basics, the essentials. You do need to change your sewing machine needle. Like your car, you do need the spark plugs changed. You don't just carry on until it breaks down. And that's what would happen with your sewing machine. And if the needle, although it might be still sharpish and sewing okay, it might be slightly bent, and therefore it could then hit your needle plate or your bobbin case, and you'll have a much bigger expense on replacing something like that than if you'd replaced the needle. So some people say to change your needle at every project. Depends what fabrics you're using. I know if you're using faux leathers or coarser fabrics, then most definitely, because that will blunt your needle quicker. Otherwise, they say every 8 hours. So if I'm sewing all day long, I should change mine every day. Now, having thought about that, I have just changed my needle, because whatever I was stitching, I thought, and I have been thinking I must change my needle, so I haven't been true to my word and changed it when I should, but I have done now. And I know this evening, touch wood, it will stitch beautifully. The other thing I noticed when I was stitching, I was doing a little bit of free motion, it actually skipped a few stitches. Now that is something to set you off to think, why is it skipping a stitch? And that would be because the needle needs changing. So your machine will be telling you, you need to change my needle please. And actually a needle costs around 50 or 60p pence, less than £1. So it is well worth changing it. So don't think I'll change it when it breaks, because no. You're not going to get the best stitching, the best quality makes if you're using a blunt needle. So that's how I would have answered your question, Catherine. So, right, carrying on, a TUI's plane slid off. I saw that. I did. It aquaplaned it. I didn't read anymore, but I saw a picture and I thought, thank goodness I wasn't on that plane. I would have been bricking it. I really would. Hello, Janice. You're looking forward to this? Jolly good. Hello, Carolyn. Oh, Janice says it's good value. Best £5 ever spent. Yes. Oh, thank you, ladies. Thank you, ladies. Hello, Bev. Hello, Patricia. Oh, Bridget might start doing shorthand again. Once she's got a fancy car. Yes, you could walk around, couldn't you? Then you get lots of orders as well. Oh, just think. I mean, this on your craft fair stalls. There's so many projects that I've shown you, and in the swap group ones as well. I went to say, well, last night should have been easier. So I apologise for last night because I cut my binding strip too narrow. And today, it has been changed, so you've got the right measurements, but you will find it a lot simpler than I actually made it look. Ugh, slap wrist, Trisha. I felt quite annoyed with myself, really. Oh, thank you, Janet and Elaine. You can't even buy... I know, fish and chips. We had fish and chips delivered last night, and I think it's £1 for delivery. It's not much, but it was £18 for one portion of chips. Was it 18? Yes, it was. 1 portion of chips and 2 pieces of cod, one being regular and one being small. Now the regular to my mind was large, and when Martin said, what size do you want? Do you want small? And I want small? What do you mean small? So he ordered small for himself and regular for me. When I opened the packaging and I saw the size of the regular, I thought, I'll pretend I didn't see that one. So I left the large one for him, well, what was regular but was large for him, and I had the small piece, which was large in my opinion. His was extra large, and he said, God, yours must be huge if I've got the small one. I just laughed, but I thought, there's no way I can eat all of that. It was absolutely delicious, I must admit. So Deb's Fish Bar in Rushden, if you're watching, delicious. Get it delivered, 5 minutes before the time we ordered it for. Fabulous. Shout out for Deb's Fish Bar. Oh, I was just going to say, Josie, still in Mallorca? No, you're back now. Catching up on the lives. Oh, bless you. I hope you've enjoyed. But I bet the weather is totally different here now, isn't it? You're not going to like it at all. Oh, thank you, Sue. Hello, Sheena. Lovely to see you. And Angela. And Sharon. And Shirley. I saw that Shirley. Was it yours or was it another Shirley? It was another Shirley. She got a pool in her background, in her garden. Terrible. Mary's a busy bee and usually catch up in the... Oh, when you can't sleep, bless you. I have been known to send people to sleep and dogs to sleep. I think during lockdown, somebody used to watch and said I sent her dog to sleep. So I don't know what there is about my voice. Oh, fabulous, Anna. Lovely. I am glad that you're here, and I hope you find everything as enjoyable as the majority of people do here. Hello, Jane. Oh, yes, you're watching live for a change. Lovely to have you here. Carol, hello. Barbara, only in the afternoon in Maidstone, rained on and off most of the morning. Yes, not good, not good. Hello, Mavis. Catherine did. But a shorthand pad, a fabric-covered shorthand pad, Catherine, makes up for... You can pretend there's shorthand in there. You know, doesn't matter, does it? And you can always watch my teaching on playback. Yeah, in the group. In fact, in the group, you will still be able to see every demo that I've done since January, and even December, actually. So it's just that measurements won't always be shown, but the PDFs are on the website from any of those demos, or most of them. There's some that aren't on there, but the majority are. It's just that when you're paying £5 for a whole month of PDFs galore, and it's £6 to buy it on the website, it's a little bit of a no-brainer, but that is absolutely your decision. So hello, Jacqueline. Lovely to see you tonight. Very wet Norfolk. And hello, Janet. Northwards, can't remember now. Begins with B, but I should know. But Blackburn Way. So I shouldn't think it's very nice there either. Hello, Pat. And hello, Sandra. And Glynis. And Sandra. Another Sandra. So yes, we're saying welcome, Anna. Lovely to have you here. Oh, it was you, Jane. Oh, jolly good. Been on my mind. I've had these pads for some while because I thought, yes, I will do that. So the pads have sat there, but I haven't got round to doing anything. So here we are. Everything that's any good is worth waiting for, isn't it? Hello, Nicola. You love this idea. Fabulous. Lovely to have you here tonight. Oh, you did wonder, yeah. Yeah, isn't it strange? Somebody must have asked, or I read something else, and yeah, I just get sidetracked, I'm afraid. Call me back. Whenever I get sidetracked, just call me back. Quite often I forget what I was talking about, so it's hard. Hello, Angela. Janet, you do buy your needles from me. I usually have, as I said, Schmetz are my favourite, but Hemline and Millwards are as good. That's okay, Pat, no worries. Oh, Christine went to the tip at 2, wet and windy, but only one there. Oh, quickest visit ever. Fabulous, that's what you like, isn't it? If it sounds like a tractor, it's your needle. Yeah, well, living in the country, I suppose I could have thought there was a tractor going by, but actually, It was my needle, yes. Oh, jolly good, Glynis. And so it's the best thing to do. Change it regularly. Yeah. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, hello, Sue. You can definitely hear the... Yes, that's right, you can. You try and defluff at the... So, yeah, I defluffed this morning as well with a paintbrush. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Vanessa's machine screamed yesterday. It needed cleaning out, but didn't change the needle. Next time. Perhaps tomorrow, because I know you sew every single day. So if you are using a machine every single day, really, you should be changing your needle at least once a week. So, your favourite hand sewing needle's as blunt as anything, but still, I know, a little bit different with a hand sewing needle, isn't it? You have your favourites, and then you can never find one just the same. Yeah, so keep going with your hand sewing, no problem. And I mean, what you could go on to is cross stitch. If it gets that blunt, use it as a cross stitch needle. Because you don't, there's holes there for it to go into, so it doesn't really need to be sharp, does it? Welcomes, look at all of that, and I haven't said a word apart from lovely to have you here, Anna. No, Sue, I've missed you. You haven't been on here for ages, but it's lovely to have you here tonight. I know, yeah, you haven't had very good news. I must admit, I'm expecting it very soon. I haven't said too much about my dad of late, but he's not good. He's not good. So it may be shortly that I need to take a little break, but I won't go into that now, but things aren't that good. Stop. Going around at Christmas with your shopping list would look fabulous. It would, wouldn't it? Yes, absolutely would. Evening, Jean. Beginner's quilt behind you is... Oh, thank you. Yeah, that is... Yes, I forgot. I couldn't see that. The beginner's quilt behind me is what we made. So if you are thinking, I could perhaps do with a little brush up on some of my techniques, have a look. Have a look. No, it wasn't that, but we did a little bit more than basic. We used squares as the first shape that we'd probably use as a beginner, but we did the sashing and the borders as well. So a little bit of additional, we did the quilting, and then we bound it as well. So yeah, lovely. Doubt it, Tony. I think Deb's is quite local. Yes. Were you on? No, Catherine, I wasn't on last night. I thought, as I'd done the swap group and Tuesdays, what did we do on Tuesday? The sewing technique, the clamshells, and then I'd done 4 this week. So I just thought I needed not to push myself too much. And you don't need to see me all the time, every single day of the week. Sometimes I have done that, but never mind. Oh, lovely, lovely, Angela. Yes, I have got some advent calendars left, Josie. Send me a message, an email with what ones you're looking for particularly. Good evening, Margaret. Lovely to see you. I hope Shirley Cox as it's really flat. Oh, yes. Yes, I haven't seen Shirley on here lately, but she might have been lurking. Usually she has a word. But yes, I hope she's well. Evening, Nikki. Lovely to see you. Oh, I keep freezing, do I? I'm a bit chilly, but I'm not freezing. And not freezing this engine. Perhaps refresh. Oh, let's see. Good evening, Mira. Certainly don't send my dog... Oh, Carol's village was flooded today. Oh, my goodness. Hello, Patricia. Back from Mexico, ready to sew. Now, I know you're in the Sew with Trisha group, aren't you? So just make sure you download all of the PDFs in there, because, as you know, they will disappear at the end of the month. And there's 11 days to go. So rather than leaving it right till the last minute, crack on and get those downloaded, saved, printed, whatever you like to do. Hello, Jill. No, picnic shopping? Hope the weather holds up. Steamboat river cruise. Yeah, I don't think you need the river cruise. Just get the steamboat. You can go down the streets in a lot of places, Jill. Yeah, because you are northwards, aren't you? Yes, I've got my fingers crossed for you then. Oh, dear. Every time it rains, you panic. I'm sure you do. Hello, Kirsten. Hello, Anne. Fingers crossed all's well for tomorrow for you, Jill. New needle and defluff for tomorrow. Well said, Sue. So, Barbara needs a long, thin hand sewing needle with a big eye. Yeah, I don't know. There are, which I haven't got any of, there are some soft toy needles which are fairly long. They're probably 6 inches long. They're quite often used for sewing doll's eyes through a thick head, if you like. Sounds awful. Oh dear, Jill, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's not good, is it? I can't not think about it, but yeah, I didn't obviously get there today, but I shall go tomorrow. Yeah. Anyhow, Shirley, clean your machine for the first time. There's hardly anything in there. Oh, Shirley, you're either using extremely good quality fabrics and thread so that there's no lint, or you need to do a bit more sewing. Just joking. Just joking. Do whatever you, oh, thank you, Jane. Thank you. Nikki's machine's getting a little pamper tomorrow. Complete the new, fantastic. Thank you, Jill. Thank you. Yeah, thank you all. It is hard. It is hard. Yeah. Yeah. I knew it would come to this in the end, but you know, when you see it, it's just. Oh, I'm freezing, am I? Hi everyone. Is there a list with moving? Not sure what I have and what you've missed. Jenny, there's all the PDFs in the Sew with Trisha group, because I know you're in there. So there is a list in the Sew Trisha Sews of what I've been doing this week, because Lindsay always puts, when I let Lindsay know what I'm doing, sometimes it's sooner rather than later, she pops it all there. So yes. Oh right. So Shirley's second swap was in Australia, so I think she's okay, but don't know about the rain. Thank you, Catherine. Tony's sewing machine died. Oh, so you're using the sewing side of your dream machine. It's quite lovely. Good, I know. Well, that's what happened with my V7 actually. That I bought it for the embroidery and didn't really use the sewing side of it, but it's fantastic, fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Off to Malvern. Hope you don't get stuck in the mud. Oh no, I know. It's a little bit mucky, I've seen things from things on Facebook regarding seeing what it's like, so I shan't get there, unfortunately, but you know, never mind. Right, shall we get started? Because I spent half an hour, I was on a minute early, I think, and I spent half an hour chatting, because it's so easy. So shall I just show you, before we start, this is next week's mini quilt. Been doing a little bit of free motion, can you see that? So this is, and Barbara, I don't know if it was you, this is the mini pocket change. Just seen an advert and see about a new brother machine. Mustn't watch, you can't afford it. Oh, I wonder what that is. So, can you see? They're not all perfect, but this is some free motion in those white areas. So that is the quilt for next week. So those of you that were in the group last month, I think it was, might have been September's. Yes, it will have been September's. There was a normal size. I can't think. Oh, you've lost your. Oh, find your sewing mojo for this. Now it's really straightforward actually. There's just two blocks. So both you've done before as such, but the way it all goes together is quite different, isn't it? Oh, I think you did, Barbara. Thank you. So thank you, Nikki. They will park you on the road, not on the grass. Oh right. Oh, that's good, Fiona. You know. Okay, shall we start? Shall we make one of our fabric covered pads. So this one has got a pocket on, but this one has no pocket, so it can just be 2 pieces of outer fabric and then 2 pieces for the pocket parts here. I have used a fusible fleece in the cover, so it's got body, but it's not too thick, so you want something quite lightweight. You could even use felt if you wanted to. Thermolam, yes, would be okay. Just think it's a little bit thick, but as I say, felt, if you've got some horrible colour felt that you don't want to use for anything else. Whose fabric is the first one? It's like Batik. It's Fanciful Forest, actually. Fanciful Forest. Thank you, Marilyn. So here we are. So the pocket here, you know how to make. It's just a patch pocket with 2 lines sewn down the front of it, just to create channels for your pens to go into. So let's have a look. So the pocket I've made is here, and all I've done is I've got 2 pieces of fabric. I've got the same on the back and the front. Oh, that's not caught there. So that's really not good. I'll have to do a double line of sewing on there. But I've used binding. It's in the subscription box this much. No, it's different. That's the mini quilt. It's different to what's in the subscription box. I've got that somewhere else. The subscription box one. I don't know where it is, but it's different. So all I've done is I put 2 pieces of fabric, the same. I haven't turned it through. I've just put bias binding around the edges. So I did the top edge first of all, and then I went round the bottom, and I just did it like we do a mini quilt, so it's got mitered corners there. So that you can do whatever size you like. This is about 6 by 4. I just chopped a bit of fabric even. Then you will need the 2 pieces here for the pockets. So that is pieces that are folded in half, wrong sides together, and these pieces are 16 inches long and 6 inches wide. That's just, yes, 6 inches wide. So you want 2 of those. Then with your 2 outer pieces, which are 6 inches by 18.5. I'll tell you the size of my pad. They should all be quite standard, but just in case. So 2 outer pieces, and one has got my fusible fleece, slightly smaller, so that I've got a 1/4 inch all the way around the edge, so that I don't get much of the wadding in the seams. And then the other one, I've used a piece of Decaville, which is 7, I think, by 5.5, just so that to give it a little bit more body, because the pad I have here, the outer cover, just the card cover, is 5 inches across by 8 inches down. So what I did was I measured around the whole of it in one, and then I added an extra inch to the sides and an inch to the base, so that I've got enough for my seam allowances. So if you, and this is what my instructions will say for a book that is 5 by 8 with spiral binding. So if you're making one that's a different size, that's what you need to do. Add an inch on to this length and an inch to the sides as well. So that is my pad there. So what I'm going to do first of all is dip you down here, and I'm just going to sew another row of stitching parallel to, there we go, parallel to my, hopefully parallel to the first line of stitching, so that it doesn't show. Oh well, I could have done a decorative stitch actually, which would have been quite nice. Just trim that off, because I hadn't caught one side of the bias binding down. So you don't need bias binding, you could use just strips of fabric. So I've just stitched another bit across there. So that is the top of my pocket. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my long piece of fabric here, and that, just make sure, wrap it around your book just to make sure that is long enough. And then I'm just going to place centrally my pocket wherever I would like it. I'll have it about there. And I'm just going to stitch around the outer edge. I think possibly I may not, on this one, I want to make them all different. And you can do exactly the same. You add your own style to your book covers. So I'm just attaching that through the one layer, and I'm just going to stitch around the edges. So again, because I'm on a solely straight stitch machine, I'm just going to obviously just do a straight stitch. So I will always, whichever, reverse at the top there, because that is going to take the most of strain when you pop things in and out. So if I leave this without channels, what it means is I can do is actually put my phone in there, should I want to. So let's see, I'm being very brave and using a total contrast colour to go around the edge here. So I'll take that one out. So I have actually got white thread on red bias. So if you want to use a coordinating colour, by all means do. So hopefully, that's it, just reverse at that end too. Hopefully that will look quite neat. So my pocket, I just wanted the pocket to stand out a little bit more because I've used the same colour. But you could add lace, you could have braid, ribbons, whatever. You could personalise. You could put an initial on your pocket and then add the pocket on. So do all of the decoration first of all. Maybe I could have actually, I'll tell you what would be good, and I've only just thought of it. If you want to have a little bit of elastic, which then, rather than the pad being open, just thinking here, you could have a little bit of elastic coming around the back so that it holds it all together. So at this point I would put elastic across here. So a little piece of elastic, same width as the cover itself, because it will stretch itself around to the other side, but that would be also quite good. So having got my pieces, or that one piece, so the piece with the fusible fleece on and the pocket on the top, what we're now going to do is pop the slip pockets on the top. So on the top here, line those raw edges up at the bottom because they need to meet perfectly. So let's just see, hoping I have cut these to an identical size. So I'm just going to pop a pin there, and we'll put a pin here as well, and at the other side. And I'm going to then just slip this around the other way because we're going to put the pocket on here as well. So I'll just line that bottom edge there. In fact, what I'm going to do, a bit of belts and braces, I'm actually, as I'm lining that up, I'm going to stitch around here. So rather than just pins, let's just stitch around here. So on this occasion, 1/8 of an inch from the edge, so that it, so that the stitching doesn't show. I wonder if I've gone just a little bit too far there. So let's just make sure this lines up at the bottom, because we want this to be nicely aligned. And by doing this, it means that if we'd done the pocket with pins, it might have just slipped out of place, and then even though it would be on the inside of the book, you would still know that it's not quite, whoops, I didn't mean to cut that there. So while I'm at it, I may as well just go around the other side too. Just stitch around here. Means I don't have too many pins, because we'll have pins in again in a moment. So just along that bottom edge, Just check that's lined up, it is. So I'm doing a long stitch here, just like a tacking stitch, but it depends whether you feel that you need to do this step. It's just that I don't want it to slip, if you like. So my pockets are already in place. Now I'm going to take my piece with the Decaville on there, and I'm going to line these edges up at the short ends. So again, we will put a pin in here because we want this to line up perfectly. Now all I'm going to do is stitch around the edge, leave a gap, but, so let's pop this in here. This time, usually we leave a gap that's sort of just big enough for it all to go through. Let's see. I might put another one in the middle here. No, I will put one where I'm going to leave a gap. So I'm going to leave a substantial gap with this. Because I am using the Decaville Light, this is sort of quite bulky or firm. When it comes to turning it through, it's really not, it's not ideal to have to turn the whole of it through a small gap like this. So I'm leaving a fair gap so that I can turn that through quite easily. So I'm going to go all the way around the outside, apart from between those pins. So we'll start here, 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we will go all the way around the edge. Oops. And I do want to have a normal, let's have a 2.5. So as I've done that in rather large stitches, I'm now going to go back over with a 2.5 stitch length. So there we go. So down to the bottom, across the short edge. Now you don't want the measurements I've given you for doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You don't want to have them any bigger than that, because otherwise it may not fit. So I'm just pulling that over to make sure it all lines up. So 1/4 inch maximum seam allowance, otherwise your pad may not fit. Now I'll tell you a little secret. In the first one I did, that didn't fit, my prototype. So all I did, I actually just trimmed back the cardboard front and back so that it fitted in my pockets. So, but instead this time, so I've made the outer measurement that little bit bigger. There we go. And that way it will fit. But we do need to make sure it is purely a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You could even go to a scant 1/4 inch. One more. Right, and now we're just coming up to this last little bit here where we're only stitching so far along. Right, we'll go to about there. Just reverse off there. Oops, and trim the thread. Right, so normally because I want this to be nice and sturdy, I wouldn't cut them off, but see, I've got no skip stitches now. I'm going to trim off those corners, but I'm not cutting them too close to my stitching. I'm leaving just a little bit extra, something like a 1/16 of an inch, rather than right on the edge of the stitching, so that it still turns through nicely. And oh, I've got my pokey tool here now. So because we've got that big opening, it means that I can put my hand in here, just hold on to the Decaville and just pull that through. And then there's no likelihood of the Decaville actually coming up away from the fabric. So I'm just going to push my little pokey tool into that corner, and similarly on here, and then we'll go to the other end as well. Just hold on to that so that it stays firmly attached. You can get away without using Decaville Light if you don't have any, but what I would probably say to do, because I do find that the covers on a shorthand pad are quite flimsy, so if you have cardstock and some paper crafting glue, by all means add some extra card to the card outers, because it will help. So I've turned that through. I've got my big gap there. So hopefully I'm going to bring in the ironing board. Let's just bring that there. And you can see how we can bring that down a little bit more. And I'm going to give this a press. So the first bit I'm going to press are the short ends. Did I have... I'll tell you what I'm also going to like. A little bit of best press. So best press, best you can ever. So I'm just going to press that first of all, and we can move around to this side seam, and you can just pull this side back nicely so that you've got the seam right on the edge. Okay, so give that a press down there. Bring this a little bit further forward. Let's have another little spritz there. So it just gives it a little bit more body as well. There we go. And you can see already, there's our short end. Now it's these bits here, which we need. I don't think I can do it backwards. But what I'm going to do, because I have got, shall we do it with the fusible fleece side? Yes, I'm going to, where I've got the fusible fleece here, I can actually push that back. No, I'm going to change my mind on what I'm going to do. I'm first of all, because it's easier, on the other side, if we turn 1/4 of an inch in, because there's no fusible fleece and the Decaville is not at that point either, we can just iron that 1/4 of an inch in, so that when we turn, we will, on the other side, we can just turn that. So let's just push that in with my finger, then along with the iron. I'll show you what I've done in a sec before I go to the front. So you can see there, I have, whoops, I might stand up to do this so that I can see a little bit better. Whoops, there we go. So I've pressed that edge under, and then if you then push this one, push the other side to meet. So again, it's about 1/4 of an inch, but if we just align that down here, and we can use pins as well, but what I do is just fold that under so that it lines up with, and give it a good press, lines up with that first edge, there we are, that I have already pressed back. So again, there is the 1/4 of an inch. Just make sure, there we go. And as I say, we'll put some pins in here as well. So let me just pop a pin in here, just so it keeps it held together, because we want these to be lined up beautifully, so it just looks like a straight edge the whole way along. So pin in there. And with these pins being flat flower heads, we can actually just iron over them. I wouldn't hold the iron on there completely, but we can iron over very gently and move along, because we don't want them sticking to the iron. So again, just press that, and I'm just lining that up with that other side that I've already folded in by 1/4 of an inch. And also what helps, by having the fusible fleece under there, it's just that it lines up with that beautifully. Okay, just this last little bit here, and gives you that straight edge, which is what we want. So a nice little bit of pressing there. That bit's come out just a little bit, but we can push that under as we go. I'll put one more pin just here, and all we're going to do is we are going to stitch the whole way around this edge. So back to the machine there, ironing board out of the way, and I would always start by closing the gap that we've left there. So let's just come down just a little bit. So if we start, now I do a slightly larger stitch as well. So I've gone up to a 3. Just make sure that lines up beautifully. And I'm going to start just to the side. So that's where, let's just trim that thread away there and that little bit. So just before the opening, I'm going to start stitching there. And I'm going to stitch right on the very edge. So if you've got a point on your foot, which this is why we need to line this up perfectly, otherwise, actually I'm just going to start again because I think, oh no, that was actually nicely in there, but I didn't think I'd caught that very well. So we want to make sure that lines up, because we're stitching on the very edge, we want it to line up perfectly as we stitch. So we'll get the thread out of the way there, and I'm just using the inner edge of the foot to line up with that outer fold, the outer edge, and that way I know that it's going to stitch through all those layers. So just pop your finger under there and stitch along. A little bit thicker when we go along across the pockets, but this way it is holding all of those in. So that bit needs to be pushed under just the tiniest bit more. That's it, just to keep that nice and together. So seam ripper comes in wonderfully. So just move that under. So I'm just aligning it as I go, because sometimes things can shift just a little bit. So there we go, and I can just see that edge of the fabric on the underneath, so that I know that is stitching through all the layers. So let's just pull that little bit. My tape is in the way there now. So yeah, that is going through. Just carry on stitching. Take the pins out as you go, and just make sure I can see. So it's just on the very verge of that. And as soon as we have closed up that gap, then we are ready to just zip around the rest, because that is all closed and pressed. And let me just see, I'm just going to bring the, oops, there, I'm just going to bring the picture in a little bit closer so that you can see I'm using that inside edge of the foot. There we are. So the inside edge there is lining up with that outer piece, so that I can get a nice straight row of stitching very close to the edge. And that's all you need to do. Watch that foot, and it's basically just butting up to it. And quite often I will hear you say, I can't even sew a straight seam. But if you've got an edge to guide you, like I'm using the edge of the foot, it's actually quite easy. Let's just see if I've done there. Okay, and then I'm just coming up to that last piece. Okay, actually I'm just thinking, what have they done wrong? However, I shouldn't have done the top stitching first. I should have turned it, shouldn't I? Ugh, never mind. So let's just turn that through, because we've got the pocket on there. I'd forgotten about the pocket, because if I hadn't got the pocket, I would have just done exactly. So there was really no need to top stitch around there when I hadn't turned it through to the right side, so that we've got the pocket there. But I want the slip, there we are, the slip pockets for the, right, we'll make it just extremely, extremely strong now, because I've top stitched before I wanted to. Never mind. So let's just pop our pokey tool in here. I should have turned it through to the right side before I did all of that, which was a little bit silly. Okay, So I've got a bulkier seam at those corners. Oh, there we go. Just poke that through. Ooh. And then down to the other end here. Well, at least I've got my pocket opening the right way up. And there we go. So, there we go. Okay. And pop that through here. So I'm not going to do it, but what you could actually do now is just top stitch around again. So I will need to just give this another press because I've done that top stitching. Silly, silly me. I was so looking forward to this being so much better than I'm obviously in weekend mode, aren't I? So let's just press that just like so. So what I really should have done, I've got no steam left. What I really should have done was to turn the pocket through before I top stitched. Oh my goodness, one of those weeks. Okay, so we've got it together. We've got our top stitching on the inside, but hopefully now, there we have our cover, and let's just get that little bit of thread out of the way there. Let's pull it through. Let's just hope it fits now. So all we need to do is, I've got that for the back and that for the front, so my pocket is on that one. So if we put this in here, oh, it still fits fabulous. And then, as you see, it's a fairly flimsy, but if we fold it back like so and pop that in like so, so your pad is in there like that, and then that will pull up because we have got the, just pull that down, because we've got the spiral binding at the top. There we are. I think there's still enough space actually for me to top stitch all the way around there, but there it is. There it is. So let's go back again. There we go. Right, just pull that up a little bit. Got my finger all over the camera. Oh, boxes, boxes. So there is your, and if I got my phone here, but I haven't, it could go in there. It could go in there. But they're slightly different from my other two. So one with a big pocket for the pouch in, whoops, oh, hang on. Let's tighten that up a little bit. Swipe. Whoops, missed all these comments here. Hundreds of comments. Right. So, one with the big one. Big one for your mobile phone. Smaller one with channels. So with the pocket there, all you need to do is sew some straight lines down so that your pencil and your pens or whatever, or make it as big as you want. You may have something that's a little bit wider than a normal pen, so just have one channel for your pen and leave the other one bigger. You might want a ruler in there, you never know. Yes, this fabric is Fanciful Forests. I had a little bit on the Tuesday treats the other day. So that is what that's from. And then a Macawa Super Bloom. But yes, the red fabric there. So the red fabric is what I'm using as well in the quilt. just to make it a little bit bright. You did the hardback notebooks, yes, and everyone loved them, yes. So this time it's a slightly different one. The outside pocket, yeah. And also, as I said as I was going, how about a little bit of elastic, which you could then fold around the back and it just holds it all together. You could even, if you wanted to, say on that back piece, where there's paper there, so on the back inside edge, you could also put another little pocket there as well, couldn't you? So if you wanted to put something in there, and then with the elastic addition, it would just hold that all safely together, all safely together, and nothing can drop out if you've got that extra pocket on the inside. But yes, you did, Lindsay. I know you did. So yes, this one is from the either story time. Yes, it's story time. This is. Thank you, Jill. Story time. So and it's going to be used, as you can see, it's in the quilt and on the border there, just to make it bright. Okay. So that is it. The end of a long week. And here it is, and here is your idea. Have a great weekend. So thank you very much for joining me, if not once today, but twice. Sometimes that's too much of a good thing, if you like. And I don't want to be out there too much, but at least I'm not on the TV anymore. So I'm never saying, oh, watch me this Sunday or next Thursday or whatever. It's always here on So Totally Trisha page or in the So With Trisha group. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Chilly is calling for a chilly night. Bye bye everybody, and thank you for watching tonight. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next week, Tuesday 6:30 in the group So With Trisha. Bye for now.